Martha and Harold Whitmore appeared to have the perfect marriage. Married for over 15 years, their bond seemed unbreakable. They lived in a charming suburban house in Charleston, South Carolina, complete with a white picket fence and a beautiful garden tended by Martha herself. Harold was a successful architect known for designing iconic buildings, while Martha managed a small but thriving floral shop, putting her love for flowers into every bouquet. To the outside world, their lives were idyllic, filled with Sunday barbecues, vacations to exotic locations, and evenings spent laughing over shared meals. But as they say, appearances can be deceiving. The first signs of trouble began subtly. Harold started coming home later than usual, claiming his work demanded more of his time. Initially, Martha dismissed her suspicions. "He's always been so dedicated to his career," she told herself, forcing a smile when friends asked about Harold's absence. But deep inside, a seed of doubt began to grow. Harold's phone, once left carelessly on the kitchen counter, was now glued to his pocket. He'd step outside to take calls, his voice low and cautious. "It's just work," he'd say when Martha raised an eyebrow. One evening, Martha found herself staring at the untouched dinner she'd prepared. Harold's text had been brief. "Working late. Don't wait up." Something wasn't right, and Martha's intuition screamed for answers. It was during a quiet afternoon at her floral shop that a stranger entered. The woman, Eleanor Reeves, had an air of mystery about her. She ordered a bouquet of crimson roses, but lingered longer than most customers. "Your arrangements are lovely," Eleanor said, her piercing blue eyes locking with Martha's. "Do you believe flowers can convey messages?" Martha smiled politely. "Of course. Every flower has its meaning." Eleanor leaned in slightly. "What do roses mean to you?" Before Martha could respond, Eleanor continued, "Passion? Or perhaps, guilt?" The comment was unsettling, but Martha dismissed it as harmless eccentricity. She handed Eleanor the bouquet, but her words lingered, seeping into Martha's already restless mind. Unable to quell her suspicions, Martha decided to dig deeper. Late one night, after Harold had fallen asleep, she unlocked his phone. Her hands trembled as she scrolled through his messages, finding nothing incriminating at first. But then she saw a text thread with a contact saved as E. The messages were cryptic but undeniable. E. "Last night was unforgettable. When can I see you again? Harold, soon. I promise." Martha's heart sank. The pieces began to fall into place. Eleanor Reeves wasn't just a customer. She was the other woman. The next morning, Martha confronted Harold. "Who is Eleanor?" she demanded, holding up his phone. Harold's face paled, but he quickly recovered. "She's a client. I've been designing her new home. That's all." "Don't lie to me, Harold. I saw the messages." He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "All right. We've been seeing each other, but it's nothing serious. It'll end soon." Martha's world shattered. She felt a mix of anger, betrayal, and heartbreak. But beneath it all was a resolve she didn't know she possessed. Martha's pain soon turned into obsession. She began watching Eleanor, learning her routines and habits. Eleanor lived in a luxurious apartment downtown, often hosting late-night gatherings. Martha would park her car nearby, watching as Harold arrived, his laughter echoing through the night. One evening, Martha decided to confront Eleanor. She waited until Harold left before knocking on her door. Eleanor opened it, surprised but unbothered by Martha's presence. "You must be Martha," Eleanor said, her tone dripping with mockery. "I've heard so much about you." Martha's voice trembled with rage. "Stay away from my husband." Eleanor smirked. "If he wanted to stay away, he wouldn't keep coming back. Maybe you should ask yourself why he's here and not with you." Harold's betrayal continued, and Martha felt herself spiraling. One night, She received an anonymous letter containing photographs of Harold and Eleanor, their intimacy undeniable. The letter was signed, "A Friend." Fueled by desperation, Martha decided she had to put an end to the affair once and for all. But the lines between love and vengeance began to blur. Martha lured Harold and Eleanor to the same location under false pretenses. She claimed she wanted to reconcile and invited Harold to a secluded cabin they once loved. She also sent Eleanor a message pretending to be Harold, asking her to meet him there. When the two arrived, they were shocked to find each other. Before they could react, Martha emerged, her calm demeanor masking the storm within. "You both have destroyed everything I held dear," she said, her voice icy. "Now, you'll understand the pain you've caused." What followed was a night of emotional reckoning. Martha confronted them with the depth of their betrayal, forcing them to confront their actions. Though her intentions were not violent, the psychological toll of the night left Harold and Eleanor shaken to their cores. In the aftermath, Harold begged for Martha's forgiveness, promising to end things with Eleanor and rebuild their marriage. But Martha had made her decision. "Some wounds don't heal," she said, walking away from the life she once knew. As for Eleanor, she disappeared from Charleston, leaving behind only whispers of scandal. Martha found solace in her work, pouring her emotions into creating beauty through her floral arrangements. Though her heart bore scars, she emerged stronger, choosing herself over a love that had turned dark.